Namo Phat, good morning. Thanks for joining me for our daily practice check-in. Listen, listen, listen. This beautiful sound calls us back to our true home. The third mindfulness training. Aware of the suffering caused by sexual misconduct, I vow to cultivate responsibility and learn ways to protect the safety and integrity of individuals, couples, families, and society. I'm determined not to engage in sexual relations without love and a long-term commitment. To preserve the happiness of myself and others, I am determined to respect my commitments and the commitments of others. I will do everything in my power to protect children from sexual abuse and to prevent couples and families from being broken by sexual misconduct. For our Dharma lessons, we're reading Ajahn Amaro's book, Catastrophe, Apostrophe. And this morning we're finishing a section on eating is more interesting than peace. In contrast, notice how food, even for the most non-sensual, is interesting, exciting when we're hungry, or when the food is of just the sort we like. Eating is a very primal activity. It's closely tied to the qualities of Tanha Upadana Bhava, the movement from craving to clinging to becoming. An exercise we can use to explore this is eating just one mouthful at a time. We might think we do that already, but most of us don't. While we have food in our mouth, our eye is scanning the plate, and the hand is already making preparations to get the next mouthful lined up, like an aeroplane in a holding pattern. While one plane is landing, the next is circling. In addition, the eye is preparing for the next descent of the utensil to select the next mouthful after that one. We have 3 things on the go without even realizing it. And we don't need to work to sustain attention on eating for the most part. It attracts attention naturally. To counteract this unconscious habit, when we take a mouthful of food, put the food in the mouth, and then put the utensil down. We're simply paying attention to the act of eating what we are eating. What a radical concept. When that mouthful is finished and the food has been swallowed, then we pick up the utensils again for the next mouthful. I make no predictions, but often the experience is, wow, this food is really something special. Even a mouthful of plain lettuce can taste extraordinary. Why did no one ever tell me that lettuce tasted like this? I never realized. This is a very helpful way of recognizing Tanha Upadana Bhava, craving, clinging, becoming, that outflowing process. By putting down the utensil, we are helping ourselves to witness that urge. Instead of following it, we simply keep the mind with the experience of feeling and perceptions. In the moments when the mind is clear, the sense of me and the world is not solid. When vicca is established, then sankhara does not arise. It is held in check. So too all the other 10 links of the chain. If you start off with vicca, the result is no dukkha. This is paticca nirodha, dependent cessation. As the attention drifts, as the mind becomes unmindful, the subject-object division seems to take on a reality, and the paticca samuppada process kicks into action once again. It is most important to get a sense of how that works on our own experiential level. The dependent origination teaching is like a precise map. The most important thing is embodying and understanding the experience. So the third exit point from bhavacakka, the wheel of becoming, is the establishment of vicca, the awake, unobstructed heart. If that quality of awakened awareness is strong enough, the cycle is not allowed to begin at all. If that attribute is well established, ignorance can't take root, and the whole cycle of addiction can't get activated. If the heart is fully awakened and aware, then dukkha is not allowed to rise, and there is a realization that there is no dukkha. It's like the image of the Buddha's enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. When Mara's army was attacking him, all of their spears turned into beams of light, and their arrows transformed into flowers raining to the ground. In this way, that image of the Buddha's enlightenment is symbolic of all of us. When the mind is fully awake and aware, the pains in our body or the struggles in our family or the tangles of our world are still there, and we are still sensitive to them. But the mind does not create suffering around them. It doesn't complicate or create conceptual proliferation, papancha. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thanks for joining me today.